Alright everybody, I'm on my last break of the day. Gonna leave here at 5:30 or so, head over to the library in Pompton Lakes, the next town over. Incidentally, where I also live, and though I grew up here in Oakland, and this is where my family business is. But got chess club there at the library from 6 to 9 tonight. Every Monday and Wednesday in Pompton Lakes from 6 to 9 p.m. If anyone's interested, it's Pompton Lakes, New Jersey. On Tuesdays, here in Oakland at their public library from 5 to 8, I also hold a gathering. There are some crossover members, some only go to one or the other. I think he neglected to see that. I don't see any problem here. Oh, you know what he could do? Let's see. So, let's say I take that bishop, because I think that was a mistake on his part. Now, if he comes here, I could step away with the king, or I could simply interpose here. So yeah, I think that was a bit of a blunder on his part, but we'll see if has come up with something I'm not seeing right here. I mean, the only other possibility I see is something a little too radical, I think. I don't think he would give up something like that. I mean, that's not really going to help him. So, alright, so let's go ahead and take that bishop. Well, unfortunately, he didn't make the mistake I'd hoped he was going to. But this will most likely come down to even pawns here, equal number of pawns here. And I can deal with this a number of ways. I mean, if he were to do something like that and peel off right away, that actually would drop his last pawn. It still would be no easy game for me to win, but he might not have make that move. I'm not sure. I just quickly looked at it. Now he has an interesting fork here. Let me show you. Let's say I make a mistake like this. Now he has this fork here. Now, in order for me to prevent him from just dropping my bishop, I have to give up a rook like that. I gotta give this one a bunch of thought here. Now what I could do is something like this, and if he comes in for the fork, you know, I could either just give up the bishop and then win his, or I could do that, let him take here, but then I can't go for the bishop now because he'd promote. Alright, let's play around with that. What's also good about that is it protects the square over the king there that his knight and his light square bishop both have targeted. Okay, now it's a good idea for me to fianchetto here. See, I'm anticipating maybe something like this, then I could pressure that, and then if he does go through with it, I've got plenty of people defending, so, you know, I would win on this exchange here. Well, actually, no, I'd be even, but, Alright, I'm gonna get kind of crazy aggressive here. It's probably gonna get me in trouble, but I like to have fun every now and then. And let's see, if I'm not mistaken, I am up a knight for 2 pawns, or if you want to look at that as a bishop for 2 pawns. I guess it would be up a knight. To get my rook on an open file. Always a good idea to get rooks on open files. There are excellent ways of controlling the file. Also, if it's a semi-open file, whether you have the pass pawn, well, whether you have the pawn or your opponent has a pawn on a semi-open file, the rook can either help support the promotion of your pawn if it's yours, or inhibit and prevent your opponent from promoting. It's Aaron Nimzovich, who was a grandmaster, was definitely a world champion contender, but fortunately passed away tragically at a young age. Also, it happened right after his career started to really take off. But he wrote a book called My System, and it's pretty much foundational theory for what's known as the hypermodern school of chess theory. Hypermodern chess theory is a lot of fianchettoing the bishops. It's mainly controlling the center 4 squares from a distance, as opposed to your more traditional theory, which, you know, places the E file and the D file pawns, you know, at E4, D4, E5, D5, and then brings the rooks onto those files. Alright, I'm going to come here because if he decides to take a pawn with his bishop, I can win the knight, and if he decides to move the knight, I can move the pawn, but I will still lose another pawn. As you can see, he's got a pawn skewered through the pawn he's got targeted right there at C3. He also has one at F6 targeted. Skewer is a type of fork. A fork is any time one piece attacks more than one of your opponent's pieces, but a skewer is apply pressure through a piece. It can be a little more effective, especially when the skewered piece happens to be a queen and you're skewering through, let's say, a rook. Or like I said in the last video, he could simply move his rook there. I think I'm going to try to apply some pressure to his queen. See how that goes. That's pretty interesting. Sorry. Alright, by no means is this going to be an easy game for me. But I think it was probably the best option I had at the time. Alright, there. So, now, he has one chance to prevent a checkmate. If he decides to take that pawn there at a6, that's a mistake, I win. If not, I guess I can still try to make things difficult for him. He just has to drop his rook back to the first rank there. Okay, I'm going to try to intrude on his back rank. Good idea to put queens and rooks on your opponent's 7th rank if they happen to be black, of course on your opponent's 2nd rank if you're black and your opponent is white. Alright, like I said, I'll just play this one simply here. I'm way up on pawns if he tries to go after my 2nd rank pawn here. I can push it there. Of course, that would create a backwards pawn at b3, but my rook has that supported right now, so I'm comfortable with that. It looks like it's going to be the race of the kings. I'm glad I got my king off of that rank. I probably would have done the same thing had he moved his rook off that file, because he could have given check and won the knight if I didn't move off the same rank as the knight. Oh, I'm in trouble now. I can't stop that pawn from promoting. I'm gonna make him work for it. He's rated 2062. Let's see, what am I at right now? I'm down to 1854, so a loss won't hurt too much. As you can see, even though I beat a bunch of people, 2 draws dropped me from 2030 down to 1854. Did I say 59 before? I meant 1854. Sometimes I think 4s or 9s. It's common. Okay, now this would be a mistake because he could give check here. Well, I mean, if I were to interpose, he would then win the pawn. I could simply just step back here. This is going to be hard. He might be able to force a draw towards. Alright, I'm going to have to give this some thought. I'll catch you guys after chess club, hopefully.